So our next participant is a FameLab France finalist from this year also. Quentin Vincent is a doctor specializing in public health, and he recently completed a PhD in epidemiology and statistical genetics in France and was specifically interested in Buruli ulcer. It seems as though his motivation for entering FameLab was to gain the skills to convince his dad that he was actually doing a real job. So let's see if those skills also convince the rest of us that he knows what he's talking about. Our next participant, Quentin.
This is the story of a team of scientists who wanted to show that Louis Pasteur got it all wrong. So winter is coming, right? With it, the flu, gastroenteritis. We'll all get sick. Everyone is in this room. Everyone? No, not exactly everyone. Have you noticed how during an epidemic, not everyone gets sick? Let's take this one step further. You know about the herpes virus, that virus that causes those blisters on the edge of the mouth, called herpes labialis. Yeah, it's annoying, but not deadly annoying. Well, the same virus in some individuals causes the life-threatening, lethal infection of the brain called herpetic encephalitis. And this is the crucial point I want to come to during this little talk. The same microbe meeting different persons causes or does not cause the infectious disease, and when it does, not with the same level of severity. On this observation, some scientists decided to completely turn around the way they studied the infectious diseases. And instead of looking at the bug, they decided to look at the host, the human, you and me. Their method was simple. They compared the genetic background and the mutations of people who developed and did not develop the infectious disease. And guess what? It worked. Hundreds of mutations have been uncovered in the last decade. One example, some patients are not fit to produce a natural antibacterial protein that's called the gamma interferon. Well, the genetic mechanism is now known, and you have a new therapeutic idea to solve that. You can just feed them with gamma interferon, and that's what's done in some hospitals right now. So I'd like to imagine with you the medicine of the future, where prescription of drugs and also vaccines is based on your genetic singularities, both to enhance efficacy of treatment and also to prevent serious adverse effects. Of course, this is big data all over again, because genome can be sequenced and read in a few days. It weighs about 300 gigabytes, and it requires teams of people with different skills to forge meaning out of it. Doctors, biologists, statisticians, computer people. So in the 19th century, Louis Pasteur revolutionized medicine by showing that the microbe was responsible of the infectious disease. In the 21st century, the change of paradigm is that one. The infectious disease is not a microbe meeting an individual, it's a microbe meeting a genetically susceptible individual. And if you want to find new ways of fighting, then we need new ideas and change our philosophy of war. It's not know your enemy, but know thyself.
Excellent, thank you very much. Do we have some questions from our judges, perhaps starting with Chaz this time?
Thank you for that. If you were sitting in Pierre's shoes and he's just taken over IMI funding, what would you do in this area? Would you invest in this area? How do you see this area growing?
I see it growing a lot. The question of return of the investment is another one, and the calendar, the schedule is not easy to predict, in fact. But I think it's huge. We really need to know how what we are made of, and what makes some people die of an infectious disease. Even in some, someone talked about Ebola virus. You know, in Ebola virus, like 50% of people die of Ebola virus. That's a lot, but that's not everyone. So if we can learn from the people who resist, why they resist, maybe we can provide the people who die with an effective way of fighting. And so I think the need for investment is huge and worthy.
So, how would you communicate the value proposition to a health authority who needs to spend some money to sequence everybody's genome? Because we need everyone's genome to address the issue you're talking about.
I really think then it's a matter of philosophy now, and I'd come back to my ending words: know thyself. And I think genetics is a way of knowing yourself, and we can, and from the subtle differences that we have and makes us unique. I mean, we can learn a lot. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if that would convince the authorities, but I sure hope so.
Time for a quick last question.
Just very quick. Public health is a discipline that's needing a lot of help and assistance. How are you going to get your what pushed you on this pathway? I know you're saying jokingly to impress your father, but what is it that's turned you on into this pathway?
It's really a matter of liking complexity. And I think that having a statistical approach to things is really complex, and that it brings answers that are not yes or no, but that are more close to reality. And reality is not yes and no, it's often very grey. And so that interests me. And on the way, I also realized that there was a lot to learn about causality and determination. This.
So another very good presentation, and I hope what the presence of the judges is showing you is that as well as being able to present a topic very concisely in 3 minutes, the FameLabbers also have to really know their stuff.